Osho's compassion is tremendous, immense. He was like Shiva, ready to take poison to help humanity, which is almost in hell. He tried to save those for whom there was no one. He tried to help rich people, rebels, revolutionaries, immoral people, perverted people, murderers, rapists. Because if the doctor refuses to help those who are really in need of medicine and care, they will die. So most of the saints, so-called saints, they take care of people who are moral, who are so-called good people. Those who are already interested in religion, those who are already following some religion, those who are believers, those who are superstitious, those who are ready to surrender. But Osho tried to help those who were doubting Thomases. Osho's door was open for everyone. Because those who are rejected by all, where they will go? They also need someone to show them the way. He helped those who were not believers, who were atheists, who were agnostic. And this is the real art. So he did so many things, so many of all his devices. He invented new devices to bring people to their real nature, to their unpolluted nature. He was helping even those who were criminals, who were in jails, even mad people. There has been one mystic, Meher Baba, who has helped many mad people. Osho's method looked little insane and mad, but in his madness there was method. First, when he was in India, he tried to help those people who were more trusting, who were more heart-oriented. So he spoke on great mystics of East, And he was, while he was in India, his appearance was like an Indian mystic or Indian sage, very simply dressed. But he saw that if you are poor, it is almost impossible for you to be spiritual. And he called himself spiritual materialist. He saw that those who were born in very rich, affluent families, like Krishna or Ram or Buddha or Mahavir, they reached to the highest peak of consciousness. For them it was easy. So it was clear to him that poor society can never become spiritual. A poor man, if he had guts, if he is really very sharp in intelligence and he's alert and more awake than normal people, then a poor man can also become enlightened. But a poor society can never become spiritual. So he started condemning poverty. If you are praising poverty, then you are responsible for poverty to continue. So when he started living in luxury in India, when better cars from Impala to Mercedes, these cars started coming. So many of the Indians who were strongly conditioned and programmed, they started leaving him. And these were all ways for Osho to check whether you really love, whether you really trust or not. What he was doing was his problem. What is your problem? And he has said it many times in different ways. Once he said, "You do what I tell you to do." I am not quoting him exactly, I am just saying the kind of life I am living, you need not imitate. And in other ways, he has said that what I am saying even more important than what I am saying, even more important than what I am saying is what I am. So to see what he was, you need to be more meditative. The more you are connected to your being, the more you will be able to see. And for him, meditation means that which cannot be hindered, which cannot be destroyed, which cannot be obstructed, for which there is no hindrance. Which cannot be disturbed. If your meditation is disturbed by anything, that means your meditation is unripe. If you have riches around you, beautiful women around you, If you are holding a powerful post and your meditation is disturbed, then your meditation is of no worth. And he realized that for most of the people their problem is sexual repression. So he gave Tantra methods. He spoke on sex as meditation. His book became very controversial, From Sex to Superconsciousness. And he said, I can relate meditation to anything. I could have spoken from cigarette to superconsciousness. Because if you are doing something, instead of wasting your energy in giving it up, make it more meditative. If you enter into whatever you are doing meditatively, that very thing becomes meditation. If you are having sex and you are very awake in it, you are present, then that will become meditation. And if meditation cannot enter into these things, then what is the worth of meditation? So whatever you are doing has to be meditative. And he said it himself that after enlightenment I experiment with sex to see whether if I have sex, whether meditation will remain or not. And it was not disturbed. It became even more juicy. And in the West, when his work was finished here, then and Sheila invited him. It is all existential also that he has done his work here, so now he was more needed in West. So Sheila, when she said that you are needed in West, and in India those traditional fools, those moralists were creating problems. So the kind of experiment he wanted to do, he wanted to give to you a new model, an alternate society. So that was not possible here. So she bought a place 126 square miles. And that place they became totally self-dependent, self-reliant. They were recycling 80% of their things. And in California, perhaps they were recycling 20% of their things. They had everything of their own, their plane, their buses, their food production. They were self-dependent. And in other things also, they were making their clothes, other daily use things. And those Rolls Royces and other riches which you can see OSHO wearing so-called diamond studded hat and diamond watches. I don't know whether they were diamond or not, but OSHO said that it is real stone and it is more precious than any diamond because it has been made by the love of my disciple, and I am not going to sell it at any cost. And he had understood one thing, that only when you are in controversy, the world gives you attention. This insane world will never give you any attention if you are a silent man sitting somewhere in some corner. If you want to attract the whole world to you, you have to do things which creates sensation, which create controversy. Hence all these Rolls Royces. Because of these Rolls Royces, he became man of year. He was man of the year for Newsweek and maybe for Time magazine also. If he was sitting somewhere in some corner, remote corner like Raman Maharshi, very few people would have come. So his compassion was so great, he wanted to help the whole world. You may be anything, you may be a politician, you may be an actor, you may be a murderer, you may be a rapist, you may be anyone. If you want to be transformed, his door was open for you. And whatever he has given, his model, if people had guts, we could have changed the whole world following what the model he gave. And all those things were also to see whether his disciples were really mature or not. Those who were unworthy, they started doubting. If he was taking whatever nitric oxide or laughing gas or anything, or he was demanding to Sheila for car, even if it is true as Sheila says, because Sheila cannot be relied upon. Even he was asking, he may have been demanding so that, because if you have 99 Rolls Royces, all the super rich people will be super jealous of you, and that is what he wanted. If he was a poor man, then all the rich people, and if he was condemning richness, condemning wealthy people, or he was saying that meditation, spirituality is far higher than any material thing of this world, they would not have believed. They would have said that he has no riches. He is like a fox who is not able to reach to the grape. So the fox is saying the grapes are sour. So only when you have all those riches, then they will listen to you. Otherwise, they would not have listened. And he was not in any way polluted by all those richness. He was never even going to his garage to see all those cars. They will bring one car for him every day. Even when he was in India, he never went to other rooms of his own house. He never went to the kitchen of the ashram. He never went anywhere other than from his room to Buddha Hall, and where his books were. So for him it was all game, it was all play. People took it very seriously that he has so much Rolls Royces. But if he was in any way affected by it, when all those Rolls Royces disappeared, he should have become super gloomy. But it didn't affect him at all. And it was he who created all this situation so that these stupid, idiotic American politician would destroy the ashram. And in that also there was message that nothing remains in this world. It is all fleeting. It is all momentary. The only thing which remains is your witnessing consciousness. All these things are just like dreams. At the very center, nothing has ever happened. And he proved all those things by his life. He wanted his people to be the center of the cyclone. So he created all the cyclones. He had to teach you in a practical way. So he created all this situation so that you can never sleep. You will have to be alert all the time. That is what he was saying. Out of chaos, stars are born. So he was constantly creating chaotic situation. He said it himself that when things start settling, unsettle them. Because when things are very settled, then you are asleep. You won't grow. And he could see in his people what was their ambition, what was their greed. So because Sheila must have been very mad for power, so he gave him all the power. Whether he was guiding her at that time or not, only he knows. Maybe he gave her freedom to see what she can do. So many of the decisions he took was wrong. But if you want to be in rose garden, if you want to enjoy the power, then who will suffer the thorns? So if you have done wrong things, you will go to the jail also. But she was blaming him. That shows that she had not that much trust. Otherwise, it was she who invited him to America. And if you want to create things, there few things has to be destroyed also. Some people need to be to sacrifice themselves. I don't know how much she loves him. Perhaps she loves him, but whatever it was, whether both of them planned it together or she did it herself, makes no difference to his beauty, his grace, his awakening. Because spirituality is not something moral, it is going beyond everything. The real understanding of spirituality is you are not confined to this body-mind mechanism. Your consciousness remains untouched. It cannot be polluted. It cannot be in any way affected. Once you are settled there, then whatever you are doing, your doing or not doing cannot touch your consciousness. That he proved by his own life. So much chaos was around him, but he remained untouched, he remained unaffected, he remained totally pure, totally still. Because he was not body-mind. People like Shiva, who was his bodyguard, he has made film also. and even Sheila, their trust was not total, but still I cannot say that Sheila was not a worthy disciple. And there is a possibility that Sheila and Shiva, these people were given money to speak lies against OSHO. Even this film Wild Wild Country, Sheila should not have agreed to speak things against OSHO, but maybe she understood the whole game, that if there is controversy only then you are in news, otherwise people forget you. And the whole world is so sick, so insane, that they cannot tolerate peace and silence and bliss. They need war and murder and sensational stories. Otherwise, these are the spices of their life. Now the war is happening between Israel and Palestine. The whole world must be more enthusiastic now, because when others are dying, we are not concerned. Now these Abrahamic and millistic assholes, they are bent upon destroying the whole world. It is slowly turning into a world war kind of situation. But what these Hamas they did with those women, these kind of people should become they should be extinct. Those who mistreat women in such a way, they are far, far worse than animals. Because all the women are basically mothers, so I am with Israel. And Jews have only one country, small country, all around they are surrounded by all kind of goons and fanatic criminals, terrorists. If the whole world was insane, if the whole world was sane, and especially the Muslim countries around, they should have left them to live in peace. If they were not creating any nuisance, I think Israel is sane enough not to do any stupid thing. And they are really courageous people. If one of their soldiers dies, they take revenge even for that. For OSHO, spirituality and meditation is not an escape from the world. It is to stand in this world, to be creative in this world. because according to him, you can be closer to Creator only when you are creative. So, if you are making this world beautiful, only then you can be called spiritual. So, for him, all those people who are artists, painters, dancer, musician, they are closer to God because they are creating. So for him, meditation is not an escape gate. But people who have misunderstood Osho, they think that Osho is a route to escape. You can just indulge in sex, or you can just be lost in affluence, luxury. If your consciousness is lost in all those things, then you have lost everything. Osho was for transforming sex energy into love and love into prayer. But if you are just lost in sex, then you are not his disciple. You are on your own ego trip or some kind of sick trip. You have anything to ask about it? If you have any question on this, you can ask. Let me say a few things more. My conviction about Osho is based on my experience. It's not based on belief or I'm not like a fan of Osho or a blind believer. My life was utterly miserable. I was on the verge of committing suicide. And it is because of Osho that my life has been transformed. So it is not based on hearsay, it is not based on just because I love someone so I am blind. He has changed my life. So that is the basis of whatever I said. And his whatever techniques, method, his discourses, they have worked tremendously. But Osho is just a mirror. He shows your face. Whatever you are will be reflected in his mirror. If you are a donkey, the donkey's face will be reflected. If you are a monkey, you will see a monkey there. But that is not Osho, that is your face. So whatever people are thinking about him, whatever they are, they will conclude about him. And he is for everyone. If you are a Ravan, he will want you to, your possibility to fully blossom as a Ravan. If you are Ram, then he will want you to be a Ram totally. He is not in any way interested in making you somebody else. If you are a rose flower, be a rose flower. If you are a cactus, be a cactus. If you are a lotus, then be a lotus. Don't try to imitate others. So he is for everyone. Anyone who goes to him will find whatever is hidden within him will be manifested. He is not only for saintly people. He is not only for those who want to be sages. He is even for those who want to be outlaws, those who are immoral. But he says that I am not, my condition is only one. It is meditation. If you meditate, anything which we call sin will go on its own. If you go on meditating, you don't have to force anything to go, they will disappear on its own. Whatever is positive will increase. Whatever is auspicious will increase. Whatever is negative will disappear on its own. But you have to travel the whole way. If you are stopping somewhere, you are to be blamed. Don't blame him. And because of his compassion, he associated with all kind of people. He allowed them to be near him. That's why he was condemned also. Because of them, he had to be in jail also. And he was perhaps poisoned also. I was not there, but he was mistreated in the jails because their ego was hurt. He was chained. But even Hindus, they were the wisest people. Even most of the Hindus can't understand him. So that shows if you are not yourself a spiritual person, you cannot appreciate a man like Osho. He is a phenomenon. He is a unique man. For the very few people in the whole history has been like him. You can say Krishna was like him, or you can say if Shiva was a real person, he was like him. And there have been few others. Janak was like him. There have been maybe few others, but at such a large scale what Osho tried to do, no one had the opportunity also at that time, because now the world is almost like a global village. So you can from your own room you can connect to the whole world, which was not possible before. If Buddha had to speak to people, he will have to go there. There was no mic even. So he can reach to very few people, but still he has reached to the whole world, but it took lot of time. Now what is... Okay, I stop now. Okay, say again.
You have explained everything, so there's no question that arose from that.
Maybe there may be one. Maybe there may be one. You search.
Question, but I feel like the way you describe Osho makes me feel like he's the real Jesus.
Real Jesus.
Because Jesus heals the leper, cures the...
These are just stories. These are just bogus.
Yeah. What I mean is that Osho heals those who are psychologically and
even if Jesus was doing those things, if he was a real person, Christians have proved themselves to be very unworthy. Because I was not present, so I cannot say 100% whether he was a real person or not. It may be just a story, which what Gurdjieff also says. And though the story is quite beautiful, they should have, if he was real, or even if he was not real, followers of Jesus, these Christians, should have, if they have understood Jesus, they should have followed him. His message is God is love. So where is love in their life? 2 world wars have happened in Christian context. Now whatever is happening between Israel and Philistine, They are almost like Christian. It's all Abrahamic religion. They are all almost same kind of people. But they go on fighting everywhere. They have created all the weapon of mass destruction. They are just fighting. So where is Jesus? Love thy neighbor as thyself. Love thy enemy as thyself. So it's all, he has failed 100%. What was happening in these Christian monastery, what these Christian people were doing, how they have tortured people to convert them to Christianity. When you don't know, then you think it is all very rosy picture. It's so ugly. All their crusades, all their witches burning. You don't know anything. So you can be in your fool's paradise. You have to see what is the reality. Just by saying that he crucified himself to help you, to make you free from your sin. It's all bogus. No one can make you free from your sin. If you have committed sin, you will have to suffer. And these are all just pathological things that if you have crucified, that will help others to be free from their sin. That is sick kind of thing. And that is what they are doing. There will be those who are his real fanatic followers. They try to do all those things on some particular day. There are sects in Christian sect in Russia which they the woman will cut their breast and male will cut their genital. Things like that. All kind of nonsensical things. So, what you were saying?
I was saying the reason I have compared OSHO with Jesus because we heard from those mythology that Jesus heals and all that, and I feel OSHO really heals those who are psychologically, emotionally, and mentally sick people.
It is just a story. The compassion which Eastern mystics, especially Indian mystics, there have been hundreds of mystics who were far more compassionate than Jesus. But their story is not so famous because people here in East, they are not so much expert in advertising. They don't believe in giving free Bibles. You compare any mystics of India, whatever they say about all Jesus' story, it's all just not at all spiritual. It's all if he is giving eyes to the blind, if he is curing leprosy and all those things, then what doctors will do? These are not spiritual things. If there was no death, no one will search for truth. No one will search for meditation. If there is no sickness, so he is continuing your dream. Instead of shattering your dreams, he is being instrumental in continuing your dreams. Why there is this desire that you should not never die? He brought Lazarus out of death. But why only Lazarus? If he knew how to bring people out of death, then why only Lazarus? Why he could not save himself if he could save Lazarus? So it's all bogus stories. He was at that time crying, shouting to non-existential God, Father, have you forgiven me, forsaken me? So, what Buddha did is real spirituality. when I think her name was Gautami or something. Her son had died, and she had become almost mad, insane. And people told her, "You go to Gautam Buddha. Only he can help." She was that boy was her only child, so she went there. Buddha said, I can make him alive, but you have to bring one handful of mustard seed from a. She started running. She thought, what such an easy thing. But Buddha said, listen to the whole condition. You have to bring it from a house where no one has ever died. And she was, because of her sorrow, her pain, she was almost mad, so she could not hear the whole thing. So she rushed, and the whole village where Buddha was, where she had to bring things from, they were doing farming of mustard. So they said, we can give you whole cart load of mustard. But so many people have died in our family. So she went from one family to another, one house to other. And by the evening she understood. She started laughing. That death is inevitable. Anyone who is born will die. So she understood. And she said to Buddha, now give me sannyas. And it is said that she became an enlightened disciple. This is real miracle, not what Jesus was doing. What he was doing was all just magic trick. Laws of existence cannot change for anyone. So you are afraid in darkness.
No, because when it was very dark, I couldn't see the screen clearly.
When you believe in bogus stories, that shows your level also. Maybe Osho spoke on all those things because it was also out of his compassion. He wanted to attract people from every religion. So you have to say good things about them. Only then you can attract mustache babies. You have to offer them first lollipop and chocolate. And you are all addicted to chocolates. What Buddha, what Muhammad is, what Christ is understood only by seeing their disciple. And what their disciples are doing is just sheer madness. And if you are a person of such little intelligence, then only Jesus can save you. That is what Osho was saying. Moses earns, Jesus saves, and Bhagwan spends. Let them save, let them earn.
I've been saved by Swami already, Swami.
No, you will have to work your own way. Not that easy.
Yes. Yes.
So it's enough